And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Stanton versus Judy Gallagher. Step forward, please.
Real estate investor Michael Stanton is suing his former tenants, 22-year-old Sarah Jeske and 21-year-old Heather Gallagher, for unpaid rent and damage to their apartment. Sarah and Heather are countersuing for the return of rent and their security deposit.
Mr. Stanton.
Yes, ma'am.
According to what I've read, you rented an apartment to these two young ladies.
Yes.
When did you rent the apartment to them?
I rented it on September 1st, 2002.
And they signed a lease?
Yes, ma'am, they did.
What was the duration of that lease?
1 year.
It seems that one of these young ladies moved out. Girls had a falling out. One young lady moved out. Who moved out?
I did, Your Honor.
What's your last name?
Gallagher.
When did you move out, Miss Gallagher?
January 1st.
Did you make arrangements with Mr. Stanton before you moved out?
I tried to get a hold of him, and I could not get a hold of him.
So the answer is no?
No.
Your lawsuit, Mr. Stanton, seeks rent for 1 month.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you managed to re-rent the apartment, so it's February's rent that you want. And they want their security deposit back. You want some damages.
Exactly.
Money for damages that were done to the apartment. All right. When Miss Gallagher moved out, I gather, Mr. Stanton, that you had confidence that you were going to be able to re-rent the apartment because you were more than willing to have her move into a one-bedroom.
I had confidence that I could re-rent their apartment because it was so nice.
Right.
Correct.
So he was being very nice to you, right?
Yes. No.
Well, yes, he was.
He wasn't letting us out of it.
Sure he was.
I had talked to him, and he said that he would let me out of the lease if I paid that month's rent, and he would not take me to court.
That's letting you out of your lease, Miss Gallagher.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I moved out because he opened up my bedroom door when I was sleeping, and I felt unsafe.
They didn't come to rape and pillage in your apartment, madam, because they saw you in your bed and they left.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Michael Stanton claims former tenants Sarah Jeske and Heather Gallagher owe for rent and damage to their apartment. The women say Michael entered their home while they were sleeping.
He has the ability to sue you until August 31st. He just wants the 1 month that he's out. Now you got it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Jeske says, oh, that Mr. Stanton, you did a terrible thing. I'm going to let you tell me what he did, because you're counterclaiming for January's rent, for the return of your security deposit, and for your emotional distress.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you let me have it all at one time?
Okay. I was laying in my bed, and first the phone rang.
When was this?
The day I called the cops on him, 4th of January or February.
Well, it was so traumatic, I would assume you would remember the date.
Yeah, it was February 4th, Your Honor.
On February the 4th, you were still in the apartment?
Yes.
Had you paid February's rent?
No, not yet.
What were you doing staying in the apartment if you hadn't paid the rent?
Because I was totally in debt, so...
What's that his problem if you're totally in debt?
I know, and he does, and I was going to pay him his late charge and everything.
All right, so you're laying in bed on February 4th, and you hadn't paid the rent. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. He, must have called or something. I'm not sure if it was him. He says it was him.
What do you mean he must have called? I don't understand that, Miss Chester.
Okay, I went to answer my phone. It was like around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Was it on a business day?
Yes. And I went to answer the phone, and of course, like, he hung up before I got to it, so I went back to bed because I don't go to bed until like really late. And then I heard the door, someone knock on the door, but where my bedroom is, I don't know if it's a lady next to me or my apartment. And I wasn't going to get up, you know. And then I heard my door unlock to my apartment, so I just stayed in bed because I was in my pajamas. And then after that, I just see my door open, and he was there. Then I heard him leaving with a guy who he was in with, saying, oh, she's sleeping. So I moved out because he opened up my bedroom door when I was sleeping.
Yes, ma'am.
I moved out because he opened up my bedroom door when I was sleeping, and I felt unsafe.
Well, what did you think he came there to do to you?
I have no idea.
Do you think he was coming? Shh. You think he was showing the apartment to somebody?
No.
Well, what do you think he was doing?
I don't know what he was doing.
You don't know. You know that he called you, right?
Yeah, because he told me.
Shh. You know that he knocked at the door, so he wasn't trying to scare you. You just decided it was too much trouble to get out of bed.
No.
That's exactly what you told me just a moment ago, that it was too much trouble to get out of bed.
I wasn't sure if it was mine or his.
Well, if you're not sure whether the door is yours or your next door neighbor's, then you get out of bed to see, right?
Well, yeah, but I wasn't inspecting no one.
Your Honor, may I?
Mr. Stanton, you want to tell me why you went into the apartment, please?
Yes, ma'am. What I did is both girls gave me permission to show the apartment. So my agreement was I'd call. If they weren't home, they gave me permission to go in. One thing they're incorrect about is that their phone was turned off. There is no phone. And in New York State, when the phone is turned off and you call, it'll ring and ring and ring, giving no indication of whether or not the phone is on or off. So I called, the phone rang, so I knocked. Nobody answered. I went in, showed the apartment to the gentleman. When I left, she came out and said, "What's going on?" And I said, "I showed your apartment." Is that okay? And she said, "That's fine."
She came out at that moment?
She came out after I was walking down the hallway. And she also said, "I apologize, our phone is turned off for non-payment."
No.
Yes,
No,
she
she
did.
wouldn't have said that.
She did.
No, I wouldn't.
No, I
That's
had taken
exactly
our
what she said
answering
verbatim.
machine.
Hey, whatever it
He
was,
said he
whether it
heard
was
my
turned
phone
off
ring.
or not, Mr. Stanton, she didn't answer the phone. She didn't answer the phone. She didn't come to the door. Now, this is relevant because if you counterclaim is a lot of hogwash. Hogwash. So after this happened, you called your father and you said, I don't feel safe here. I want to move. So he came and he moved. This whole thing is about you owing February's rent. I'm not interested in your emotional distress over him showing your apartment.
He already had my apartment rented out to this John.
Maybe he wanted to look at it again. Maybe he wanted to see where his furniture was going to go. What difference does it make? They didn't come to rape and pillage in your apartment, madam, because they saw you in your bed and they left. He closed the door, and according to you, he said, "Oh, she's sleeping," which means he didn't want to disturb you and closed your door. That's what you just said to me.
May I speak? It's still not right, though, for people just to walk in your apartment, you know.
You weren't even there.
I know. No, this had happened beforehand.
Just a second. You weren't even there.
When I was still living there, though, the maintenance people had walked in, and we had spoken to the manager at the
Did you
time
go
about
home
that.
to live with your parents?
No.
You should, until you grow up.
They did.
Until you grow up, you should both go home to live with your parents and start acting responsibly. You sign a lease for a year, you stay there. And if you don't get along, Miss Gallagher, and if you want to move out, the first thing that you do is you call the landlord and say, "I want to make some arrangements with you. I want to move out of the apartment. Is there some way we could do that?" Not, "I tried to call him and I couldn't get him in, and you left anyway." That's not what a grown-up does. Let me see the damage to the apartment.
What I have here, Your Honor, is pictures of the apartment before I restored it, and also a picture of the broken tub, as well as a picture of damage to the brand new refrigerator. I'm only suing for partial damage to the refrigerator because the refrigerator is fully operational. It's just damaged. The tub is destroyed. How they broke the tub, I have no idea. And I have also, Your Honor, the lease right here from them showing a move-in, move-out form that shows no damage to the apartment.
Okay. Who's going to explain to me how this damage occurred to the bathtub?
We didn't even know there was damage. We have a...
I have a tenant checklist from the manager at the time
At the
stating
time?
that there was no damage when I moved out.
When you
Because-
moved out. So, well, let me see that.
That is fabricated, Your Honor. There is no such thing. I'm the only one who has those forms.
No, he's...
How they got those forms, I have no idea.
Well, who signed this?
John,
A
he was a
tenant of
manager
mine.
at the time.
A tenant of mine in training to be a manager.
No, he was his manager.
Just a
He
second.
was in training.
Is that why you
Listen
put
to me, Mr.
us-
Stanton. Let's
Yes,
not
ma'am.
play around with each other, sir.
Yes.
Because I am an ecumenical abuser.
Okay.
If someone is in training to be a manager, that means that they are your employee, right?
Yes.
Yes. They say that John gave them this checklist, which says that there was only some chip paint.
How do I know that? Is that something they fabricated? How do I know that?
How do listen to me?
Because
How do I
John
know,
never told me about
listen
that.
to me.
Yes.
How do I know these pictures aren't fabricated?
They're photos
Of what?
of the tub before
Maybe
and
it's not.
and
Just a
afterwards.
second. Just a sec, sir. Bert, can you tell me what that's a picture of?
It's a picture of a crack.
Can you tell what it's a crack of?
No, I can't.
Could it
That's
be
why
a
we got the
crack-
new photos.
Just a second. Could it be in a crack in a wall? Could it be a crack in apartment 604 or 203 or 701? You don't know, right?
don't know.
You know, Mr. Stanton. Mr. Stanton. You're entitled to certain things, sir, and certain things I had to.
I can't fabricate a photo.
I didn't say you fabricated a photo, sir. I don't know what it's a photograph of. $5.95 was the rent?
$5.95 and a $50 late fee, and the fridge was $75.
You're going to take all that out of their security deposit, sir. From them, you're going to get $5.95, which was February's rent, because Miss Jeske was still living there. According to her, she had a lot of bills, but she was still there February
I paid
1st,
him.
2nd, 3rd, and laying in bed on the 4th.
I paid him $200 for February's rent.
Oh, let me see.
It's written down.
Good.
My mom signed it over.
That's January rent, Your Honor.
No.
Hold on.
No.
You were supposed to pay him $300 for...
Half of my month's rent for January, and she paid $350.
And you paid January's rent and $200 for...
half of February's rent, because I was supposed to be in the new apartment.
I don't know why that is.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $395. Your counterclaim is dismissed. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please excuse, you may step out. That's this case number 328 on the calendar in the matter of Saucedo Estrada versus Castro. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
You claim that the defendant had you falsely arrested.
Correct.
Falsely arrested for either a burglary or a trespass. Ms. Castro says that she was convinced that you were trying to burglarize a neighbor's house. That's why she called the police.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with you. When did you allegedly witness this attempted burglary?
It was July 27th at about 2 a.m. in the morning. I was doing some studying, and I walked in the backyard of my family's home to smoke a cigarette. I witnessed the plaintiff and her boyfriend. He actually had the door open to the other next-door neighbor's garage. He actually was already going to step in. She was acting as a lookout on the right-hand side.
And there's no question in your mind that that's what you saw?
No question whatsoever.
How do you know them?
They're neighbors. See, Your Honor, we live in a small triplex. My family lives in the middle. There's a neighbor in the front, and then they live in the back. Since December of last year, we've had repeated problems with them as a result of one time my mom asked for them to move their car, blocking the front of my mom's garage. Since then, the plaintiff and her boyfriend have engaged in all kinds of terrorist threats. I have reports from the police. We've had to call several times. She's threatened to strangle the next-door neighbor when she was 7 months pregnant. She threatened to kill me, my mother, and my 12-year-old sister with a bat. I attempted to get a restraining order.
And what happened?
The judge didn't grant it based on the fact that she's a next-door neighbor. So she said that basically what would have to happen is that someone would have to move. So she's recently been evicted from the owner as a result of all these problems. And, you know, I know that she's trying to say...
Just one second, okay? You answered my question.
Okay.
7/27.
Right. No, actually, the incident with the garage began December of last year.
7/27 is when this incident happened, when you allegedly saw them out trying to get into somebody else's garage. You called the police?
Yes, I did.
Police arrived?
Yes, they did.
What did you do?
I let them know what was happening, and at that point, maybe 5 minutes went by and they apprehended them. They asked if I could ID them. They were apparently trying to get into their car around the block.
Is that right?
No.
Where did the police find you?
I was at the corner. He had dropped me off at a corner. He had went back to the house.
Just a second. He dropped you off at the corner.
For the fact that we didn't make no contact, because we knew something was up. We noticed that she was banging on this garage. She was kicking it. She woke up her 12-year-old sister and mentioned to her, make sure you say this and make sure you say that. The 12-year-old sister was barely waking up. We noticed she was banging on the door, so we left the house for the fact, so we didn't have any problems with her. So we left to my mother's.
Just a second. So what you're telling me is you got up 2 o'clock in the morning and you heard somebody banging on?
No, we had just arrived when we noticed that she was out there.
Just arrived from where?
From my mother's house, from a party. We had just got home from a party at around that time.
Now, 2 o'clock in the morning, you got home from a party.
Correct.
And you went to pull your car into where?
We didn't put our car nowhere. We parked it in the streets at that time.
How far away? A block, half a block, 2 blocks?
Like about a block.
1 block away. Just speak now. Don't show me a picture. I'm going to answer my question. You were walking back to the house with Mr. Estrada. And is that when you saw Miss Castro?
No.
When did you see Miss Castro?
When we entered in our house.
And you were together?
Correct.
I thought you just told me that Mr. Estrada dropped you off at the corner.
That was after we left the house.
Now you're in the house.
Right.
And you see Miss Castro outside, kicking in a garage.
Not at that time.
What was she doing?
She was actually at her front mother's porch, smoking a cigarette. She noticed that we were entering our house. So at that time, there was a whistle, which his friend was waiting for him because he was going to ask him for a ride.
What do you mean his friend was waiting for him?
Yeah, he was whistling because he wanted a ride from him.
So a friend of his came from where?
From the alley, from this
A friend of his comes from an alley, 2 o'clock in the morning, and whistles for your boyfriend.
Correct.
Because he wants a ride to where?
Back home.
How do you know that?
Well, because he doesn't live in Long Beach.
You clairvoyant? You mean you know what he wants when he's whistling? Did he whistle in the tune of, I want somebody to give me a ride
no,
home?
I mean, pretty much we knew. I mean, he maybe wanted a ride, you know, back home. Because he was there for the weekend.
Where for the weekend?
In Long Beach. And he lived in Torrance.
Keep going.
He came out, and at that time, Norma was right. As soon as he left the house to go open the gate, which is this gate, in order for you to gain access to it, you need a key. So since he was outside this gate, he was going to go open it. He had told him to wait.
What was he going to open the gate for?
Oh, well, to tell him, you know, to hold on, so he was going to leave, you know, with him to go give him a ride. So at that time, Norma Castro was, like, right behind him. I was in the house. I was seeing that she was, like, right behind him, you know, to see what he was trying to do or something.
Sounds right.
And so then...
Sounds right to me. So then, somebody comes in an alleyway whistling at 2 o'clock in the morning. Somebody's going out to open up a gate with a key. Would seem to me a good tenant who was out there, vigilant tenant, would watch and say, what's going on here?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The Whistler doesn't make any sense. The trip to Torrance doesn't make any sense. The leaving your house in the middle of the night doesn't make any sense. And if it doesn't make any sense, it's not true.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Priscilla Saucedo and her boyfriend, Daniel Estrada, claim neighbor Norma Castro had them falsely arrested. Norma says she caught them red-handed trying to break into a neighbor's garage.
Go ahead, keep going.
So then he opens the gate, so he came back to let me know that he wasn't, you know, take him.
Just a second. So he came back and he said, I'm going to give Whistler a ride home, right?
Right.
And he came back to tell you that.
Right.
And he left.
He left after I stayed in there to putting on my pajamas.
He left.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So after that, so I was ready to go to sleep at that time because I was just getting home. So I, you know, throw on my pajamas, and I noticed that she was out there banging. I just heard like some hard bang.
So she's banging. Go
she's
ahead.
banging on something. So I just staring at her to see what she was doing. So then after that, like when he came back, I told him.
How long did it take him to get to where he was going?
Maybe about 45 minutes.
Was it within the first 5 minutes that you saw her banging on the garage?
Oh, no, it was like maybe right after he came back. Because she was smoking a cigarette.
Gets better every minute. It's a long, it must have been a very long cigarette. So
well, yeah,
right after
she smoked cigarettes after cigarettes.
Listen
if you would see my yard.
Just a second. So now it's after he came back. So he comes back from driving the Whistler.
No.
And is that when you hear her banging?
No, she was up and down walking, smoking cigarettes.
I'm asking you when you saw her banging.
Right, after that.
Where was he?
He had already arrived home. At the time when he was gone, I noticed her suspicious.
So now he's home, and she's suspicious.
Right, and I mentioned that to him.
And you mentioned that to him. And so what happened?
So after that, I told him, let's just go back to, back to my mom's, where we were gonna spend the night because the fact that we didn't want no trouble with her, and the fact that she
Just a second, you're in your pajamas. You were going to bed.
Right, correct.
So now why are you getting out of your pajamas?
Well, actually, I just threw on my shoes, and I actually took off.
Who lives in the house where you were that night?
Oh, me and him and my kids. My kids weren't present at that time. They were at my mom's house.
Listen to me. So it's just the two of you.
Right.
So you say to
Daniel,
we're going to go over to my mom's where the kids are, and you throw your shoes on and you throw a shirt over your pajamas. Then what happens?
So we left, and after that she was...
No. You both walk out together?
Right. We walked out.
Don't put your pictures down. You both walked out together. Daniel, where had you parked the car?
Right there, as soon as you come out of the alley. Right there, like half
You
a
found
half
a parking space?
Yes.
A legal parking space?
Yes.
Good, so it was closer than the one you had before, is that right?
That's right.
The one you had before was a block away?
Yes.
This was a half a block away?
Yes.
Good. You come out, so you're just a half a block away, so you're able to get into the car. You came out together, is that right?
That's correct.
And you both got into the car together. Were you driving?
Yes.
And then what happened?
Well, then I leave her in the corner because I was going to go back to get more clothes for her and for me.
Just a second. So now you're in the car.
Okay. Yeah, we're driving away, and as soon as we hit the first corner, I told her, just wait for me right here, because I already knew they had problems, mainly between them, right?
Yeah, so now you're a block away, a block and a half away.
Yeah, I leave
and you
her.
tell her, wait in the car.
No, I tell her, wait for me right here in the corner. I'm going to go and drive up.
Oh, so you drop her off?
Yes.
Right. Just a minute, you drop her off alone on the street at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And say to her, you wait here, I'm going back to get some clothes.
Yes.
Right? Go ahead. And that's when the police stop you?
Yes.
Well, she says no, you say yes.
After
Which one
he
is
went back.
Well, when I went back, after I dropped her off, when I went back to get the
parked.
clothes, and I was barely parking, and I was barely going to get off my car, that's when the police just got me right there.
Listen, I don't know what the police did with your complaint, but there are more holes in this story than Swiss cheese. As far as I'm concerned, you have no case for false arrest. I believe she saw you fooling around with the neighbor's garage. She may not have been able to prove a burglary, but certainly the story that you just told me is such a fairy tale. It's such a fairy story. Makes absolutely no sense to me at all. No sense at all. The Whistler doesn't make any sense. The trip to Torrance doesn't make any sense. The leaving your house in the middle of the night to go to your children because she was smoking cigarettes and acting suspicious doesn't make any sense. It all doesn't make any sense. And if it doesn't make any sense, it's not true. Your case for false arrest is dismissed. That's all. Step out.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
They've made threats against my family. Death threats, threats to beat my mom up with a bat.
She basically got away with another false accusation.
Police have talked to the owner several times to let them know that we are having significant problems with them.
As far as her getting us out, she already got us kicked out, but I guess we'll just have to see later on what happens.
I prayed for justice, and whatever's done in the dark always comes to light here.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Bunting versus Green Street Interiors. Step forward, please.
Production company owner Ross Bunting is suing furniture store owners Karen Clabeau and her mother Judith for towing expenses, loss of business, and harassment. Ross claims the women had his car towed for no reason. Karen and Judith have a countersuit for loss of work.
Do either of you folks have a photograph of the building where you both are tenants?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll take a look at the pictures. I want to get a sense of what
Okay,
this...
let me have it. You don't want all of them. It's fine.
Okay. Both of you have been long-term tenants in this building. Soon, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the green awning, does this represent your business?
Yes.
You have a retail furniture business.
Right.
In the building that occupies a substantial part of the, if not all, of the first level. Mr. Bunting rents some office space on the second floor. Is that right?
And the first floor,
Where on the first floor do you rent space, sir?
next to the Green Street Interiors. I have a suite downstairs.
That you use?
Yes,
For what?
storage.
To live in.
So that's, let's say, that's a storage. You have some storage space on the
Yes.
first floor, but your office is on the second floor. What kind of
That's-
office do you have, sir?
I have editing bays
You
for I
edit
do
for-
video production.
Okay. This is the problem. There's plenty of parking space behind this building, but only some of it is directly behind their back entrance, where people would ordinarily pull up their cars for the purposes of loading merchandise or whatever. And the problem has arisen that the defendants have asked you not to park directly behind their store, correct? Yes, just answer.
yes.
They've asked you not to park directly behind their store. And there were times when you didn't park directly behind their store, but then you decided that's most convenient for me, and if there are not other spaces readily available right next to it, I'm going to park right behind their store, and you park there, and then you go about your business. The defendants caused some green lines to be placed, and then some signs to be placed over here which say that these two parking spaces, which are right behind the back entrance to their store, are reserved for customers of their store. And you ignored them, and you parked your car there. And they got real frustrated, and on one particular day, when you had parked your car there, they called, according to the defendants, and said, could you please move your car? It's been here for hours. And you said, I'm not moving it. And they said, we're going to have it towed. And you said, tow it. And this lawsuit is all about towing of your car. and you want $2,650, reimbursement for towing expenses, loss of business, and emotional distress due to harassment, because it is your claim that they had no right to, A, post these signs, B, put up these signs that say that this is reserved for their customers only, and therefore, ergo, they had no right to have your car towed. That's your case, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Fine. There is only one issue, and that issue is I have to see some confirmation from the landlord that it was the landlord's decision and the landlord permitted you to reserve those 2 parking spaces for you. That's all I have to see.
I have that.
Good,
Your Honor,
I'd like to see
the
it.
landlord himself painted the 2 curbs green in the beginning, and when he didn't respect that, he gave us permission for the
Just
signs.
Okay. Now, I have a letter from the property owner who indicates that he did, in fact, give her permission to both use those 2 spaces and to erect parking signs that say any violator will be towed. I have a letter from the police department who say that they will certainly respect this as long as they have approval from the property owner to allow them to restrict parking to patrons of their store. So I have those 2 documents, sir. Now, what's your problem?
Well, the landlord, the day that my van was towed away, before it was towed and everything, when I was told that it was going to be towed away, and I called the landlord. He said that she can't do that, and that she won't do that.
You are supposed to be a reasonable person if you rent space with somebody.
If I could interrupt for 1 second.
Sure, no, you can't.
Okay.
You can't.
Okay.
You're supposed to be a reasonable person. If somebody says to you, look, there are lots of parking spaces, 12, 2 dozen, I mean, I don't know how many
43.
43 parking spaces. All we're asking you to do is not park in these 2 right behind the store so that people, if they want to, can come up, pick up a piece of furniture, put it in their car. Why wouldn't you use one of the other 43 parking spaces?
If one of them was available, Your Honor, I would have.
No, that's
there
not
was none available.
That's not true. Of the 43?
There was none other available, and I've constantly had ever since.
Just a second. What time did you get to work, Mr. Bunting?
He doesn't leave work because
Just a second. What time do you get to work?
that particular day,
Yeah.
probably about 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock in the
morning.
In the morning. Well, Mr. Bunting, I guarantee you that at 6 o'clock in the morning, 43 parking spaces weren't occupied. I guarantee it, sir. As I'm sitting here, there is no question that 6 a.m. when you arrived at work, you had plenty of other opportunities to park in other places. Your lawsuit is dismissed. Now, you have a counterclaim?
Yes, we do.
Listen to me. It's nonsense.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is nonsense because your counterclaim says that you want him to pay for this frivolous lawsuit, the amount of time that it took for you to...
It's just the lack of time that we weren't able to schedule any appointments today over a frivolous suit.
Listen to me. He doesn't think it's frivolous. He doesn't think you should have towed his car. You don't get compensated for that. Your lawsuit is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Now, this is case number 289 on the calendar in the matter of Lattimore versus Lorette. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Miss Lattimore, your claim is that the defendant's son hurt your son with a golf club.
Yes, that's right.
Causing him to have severe damage to his teeth, loss of permanent teeth. And
That's
you want the defendant to be responsible for the medical bills and dental bills for your son.
That's right.
Was the defendant a friend of yours?
She was someone that I knew through a family member. She was also a neighbor where I was living at, but we weren't friends, so to speak.
Okay. Now, what was the date of the injury to your son?
That was December 23rd of 2002.
And was she babysitting for you for hire that day?
Yes, she was.
And what did you pay her?
I'm not sure. I believe I paid her $15 per child because she usually watched my daughter too, but this particular day it was just my son. So when I came home, I should have owed her $15.
And you had paid her before?
Yes, I have.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And how much notice did you give her before you dropped your...
Cardboard boxes by the door, coffee ring on the kitchen floor. Every room still says your name, but the frames are empty, walls the same. I lost a home, but kept the roof, 4 bare walls, and all this proof that home was never made of stone. turned this house to something I could call my own. Spare key hiding in the plan, your old sweater on the lamp, drawers you label left and right. Now they echo when I close them at night. I lost a home, but kept the roof, 4 bare walls, and all this proof that home was never made of stone. It was you that turned this house to something I could call my own. I walk the hallway, counting steps, like I could walk back into us. Doorway shadows, quiet shells. This place is full, I'm the one that's crushed. I lost a home, but kept the roof, 4 bare walls, and all this proof that home was never made of stone. It was you that turned this house to something I could